Just like Sonny Hayes said, plan C is for combat. Here is a comeback for a mid-season recap of F1 2025.
Full of chaos.
Full of chaos. Welcome to Game Time Banter. So finally, after a long time, it's not about a video where we're covering about a particular race. It's the entire mid-season in general so far.
I was just fed up of talking to him, and I just wanted to talk to a camera,
Especially we didn't want Dave for this.
We didn't want Dave
because we just wanted two buddies talking about a video.
Yeah, absolutely. No McLarens right now.
No McLarens. Just F1.
Just F1. Pure F1, proper F1.
Yeah.
Something that makes you feel proud about, being a fan of the sport. Something like Nico Hülkenberg getting a podium. Finally, I predicted it. I predicted this.
Okay. So
I predicted this.
Kudos to you. After a long time, his wishes have come true. Nico
Hülkenberg he's the best driver that F1 has ever seen. 239 races and he got a podium.
Yeah,
Finally.
True. The next time, if we have Ayushman, if at all for a video, he'll say Sonny Hayes is going to win the next Grand Prix.
Right. But Sonny Hayes does not exist in real life.
He does not exist, but anything could happen since there are so many chaotic moments which are happening in F1
Absolutely.
currently.
Starting with the first race itself, it was absolutely chaotic. Oscar Piastri lost it.
His home ground.
Not lost it as in he didn't lose it mentally. He lost it. He lost his driving. He went on a wet patch during the race. He spun out onto the grass.
Yeah.
Yet still did recover to 9th, which was
the first time McLaren went lawn mowing.
Right, first time this season. McLaren went lawn mowing. The other, time I can think of McLaren going lawn mowing is Lando Norris.
Lando Norris
had the Canadian Grand Prix as well. And Lando Norris at the Chinese Grand Prix, and there's been a lot of stuff. We're trying to cover all of the highs and the lows. We don't have any script prepared. We're trying to think of whatever comes to our mind first. We wanted to ensure that not only is this fun for you guys, it's fun for us just to record. We're having a lot of fun. There's three people sitting behind the camera that are absolutely losing themselves right now.
No, they are the ones who are cheering for Apex GP.
Absolutely, they literally asked us, after the movie was released, if Alfa Romeo became Apex GP.
I had that was my thing. I had someone who came to me and asked me if Alfa Romeo is Apex GP, and I went blank.
Alfa Romeo is the stake F1 Sauber team, which finally got a podium. Nico Hülkenberg. Yes, finally, and we're so glad. And
this is something which I'm going to hear for the entire season, probably.
You're going to hear this for the rest of your life.
No! God, please, no! No!
Probably. Now Nico Hülkenberg can finally retire in peace if he wants to.
No, he doesn't.
If he wants to. That is why I said...
Audi is coming next season.
Let's see. There are more predictions for that also. We'll get back to that.
Also, a lot of gossip, a lot of chit-chatter that's going around, around the F1 itself, starting with Red Bull, Christian Horner. Christian Horner. I don't know why he's so happy about it. Christian Horner is obviously,
No, see, I'm not happy. It was shocking. I mean, I was the one who broke it to you.
Right.
Sky Sports actually broke the news to you. But it was one of
who thought Kimi Antonelli would be the reason behind Christian Horner losing his job? Kimi Antonelli crashed to Max Verstappen in the Australian Grand Prix. It sent a chain reaction to Max thinking, okay, maybe I need to rethink my choices because this is not what I want. If he thought, if he was ahead of the grid, he probably would not have been in that crash.
No, but before that, there was a prediction. I mean, this is not about something which is currently. This is something which was planned much before. The scene in the F1 movie where Toto Wolff walks up to
Josh
and he's like,
Joshua Pierce, sorry, right.
If you want a new place, you know where to find me.
George Russell is crying out, right now. He thinks he's going to get replaced, which he probably is, There were rumors of him going for a test with Red Bull at Silverstone.
Exactly.
So there can be a driver swap going around. We did see a photo of Max Verstappen and Toto Wolff going into his jet. We don't know whether or not it's photoshopped.
I mean, see, for that one particular incident, Instagram was bombing reels and posts about Max Verstappen.
Everyone was speculating about it, as were we. In all honesty, as were we.
we were discussing about all the possibilities that could happen.
And then I thought, it's probably good to change the
Yeah,
topic and
maybe.
think about Nico Hülkenberg getting a podium.
Hey,
He's getting absolutely fed up by it, and it's fine. It's fine, right?
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
See,
it's fine. When Max Verstappen wins, I am fed up of him talking.
I
And
mean,
when
once-
Nico Hülkenberg finally gets a podium after 239 races in a stake kicks out, which I must say, he thinks it's luck. I don't think it's luck.
no, see,
But whatever it may be, getting a
everything
podium,
was in his favor. Okay?
right? Whatever.
So-
we may speculate about this,
Yeah,
but
probably.
it is a very big thing.
It is.
Stake.
Yeah, good.
Stake F1
After what,
kicks out
243 races, he won one.
239.
239, he got a podium. Good for him.
Good
I
for
mean,
good for
cheers,
him.
lad.
That's probably it from our side.
I mean, that's the only thing which we can talk about it. I mean,
Correctly.
Silverstone. Yeah, let's get on. To
It was a
Silverstone
chaotic race, no matter what you
Yeah.
say. Silverstone is obviously amazing.
I've
It-
been there. I've been there.
Yeah, he has. Okay,
I've
yeah.
been there.
Money,
So No.
money talks, I guess. Which is why I'm doing the talking right now. Anyways, so Silverstone in itself is obviously a good Grand Prix.
yeah,
Also, it was probably the first F1 race weekend for the people that saw the F1 movie.
yeah. Actually,
Very entertaining for them. Every single friend of ours that has seen the movie, and they said, first of all, they asked both of, I am assuming they asked him as well, his friends. My friends did ask me for where can they watch F1 and
yeah.
how to
did.
watch the Silverstone Grand Prix. They
I
themselves
had my Instagram spammed with
absolutely
all the things.
absolutely. I was getting call after call from my friend, like, "Hey, this is happening, that is happening. Oh my god,
Yeah.
ye kya ho gaya? What happened?" It was haywire. This season has been haywire.
It
You-
has been.
We may think this is we honestly, after the first few races, I thought we're probably moving back to the McLaren era, which used to take place during the 90s, during the 2000s. In early 2010s, they won a few races as well. They were contenders for the championship multiple times. They did not go ahead with it when circumstances changed. Circumstances are now back in their favor, and despite that, we thought Max Verstappen would pull everything out of his. He
Yeah.
would go beyond his capabilities
Yeah, because
and get a championship winning car.
because when we saw in previous seasons, last season 2021, he did come up with a great historic comeback, I would say, with
Right.
having strategy issues, with having problems in the car. But then this time you're actually seeing him struggle. He's
Right.
not.
He's
trying-
back in the midfield, and
Yeah.
Mad Max has finally come back.
Yeah.
From a neutral standpoint, it's very great for me to see. Why else would you not want entertaining races?
Actually.
Absolutely on the line, not over the line. Even if it is over the line, the stewards themselves are making mistakes. There's so much going on in the world of F1.
Yeah.
So for a positive point of view, I'm not going to mention Hülkenberg anymore, which I probably should. There are rumors that Sebastian Vettel is going to take the Helmut Marko place at F1, being the senior advisor. What do you think about that? As a
I mean,
Red Bull fan.
See, if I mean, this is just a prediction, but yeah, if it comes true, it would be a deadly combination seeing Sebastian Vettel as the team principal and then Max Verstappen also
If
as a
he
driver.
does decide
If
to
he-
say.
Yeah, if he does decide, but then the chances are less currently, seeing all the things that are going on in media.
About Max Verstappen, but Sebastian Vettel, I believe, is a person who can change.
He would.
He can change the team entirely, not just because of the fact that he spent a lot of time with his team.
Your drink
but-
Sonny Hayes.
He he would, but in all honesty, Sebastian Vettel is a person everyone in the F1 paddock admires. Even his opponents admire him.
Yeah.
Everyone in the F1 paddock listens to him, and you need someone like that.
He's
Something
like
like
Adrian Newey in some way.
Absolutely, and somewhat like a Niki Lauda to Mercedes.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Like
he-
that
right.
one person who would change something like this.
Right, a former driver who understands the newer driver, who
Yeah.
understands the car, who understands the team very much, who understands the sport in its
Yeah.
whole.
And-
Sebastian Vettel is that person, and he's doing a lot. He's still,
He
a
is.
part of F1. He
And
does a lot of
he's been
CSR.
like a contributor in some way.
Right.
And it's not like other team principals who, I mean, those are not an ex-driver who's a team principal. But then for someone who's, sitting at the pit lane, watching some screens and then, getting some technical data and then analyzing the car. But then also someone who's been behind the wheel, who's had that same intensity which the current drivers are facing,
has struggled quite a lot,
struggled.
with Aston Martin as well, and still got that car to a podium
and a world championship also.
and a four world championships with Red
Yeah.
Bull. And I did not realize this how big it was when I started watching F1. I thought Ferrari has had a lot of great drivers.
Yeah.
They obviously have,
But then everyone have also greater drivers.
right? And after Michael Schumacher and I believe Eddie Irvine, Sebastian Vettel has a second
Yeah.
highest race wins for Ferrari. He was with Ferrari for 5-6 years, mind you, and out of those, in the last 2 seasons in 2019 and in 2020, it was really bad. He was in the midfield. Ferrari was 7th in the Constructors' Championship, the worst ever.
Mhm.
And despite that, he has so many race wins. So a big advantage for Red Bull if they do manage to get him. Now, moving on to another team, Mercedes. Do you think if Max Verstappen does move to Mercedes, obviously a lot of loyalty of the Dutch fans and a lot of the people that obviously support Max Verstappen, they are going to transition into becoming Mercedes fans, just like Lewis Hamilton did into becoming Ferrari fans. So do you think this will be a positive move for Mercedes, no matter what their car is, no matter if they're second in the constructors or maybe first in the constructors?
I mean, if you talk about fan following and all, I mean, obviously, if you're talking about drivers in particular, Max Verstappen would replace George Russell. Max has got a great fan following. He's got a big one. The entire Dutch fan, Red Bull fans, those who are in all the North European regions and all.
Right.
So yeah, if he switches to the German team, there would be a humongous amount of change, probably more than what Lewis Hamilton brought to Ferrari.
Probably. We can only speculate again.
Yeah, because for Lewis Hamilton, we're only talking about the British fans and the Mercedes then fans, now Ferrari. But then Max Verstappen is also representing an entire great community, talking about the Dutch people, Austria in particular. Red Bull has got its entire fan following. But yeah, it would be a great combination seeing Kimi Antonelli and Max Verstappen in the same team.
I love the fact that a lot of driver talk going around, and despite that, except for maybe Franco Colapinto, no other rookie has a chance to maybe lose their seat. Every single rookie
Yeah.
has a very great chance and has showed their capabilities to be
Yeah.
in the car for the next season in 2026.
Especially Kimi.
He got a podium in Canada,
Yeah.
which is very commendable. He defended Oscar Piastri and
Yeah.
Max Verstappen as well for a while, and
He's shown that potential that he can compete with the veterans.
and in only his rookie season,
Yeah.
And these are the young drivers we're speaking about. A lot of the old drivers, are showing their worth as well. Fernando Alonso, in all honesty, he has scored a lot of less amounts of points than that were expected, but
they were decent points.
They were decent points, and it was probably due to the fact that Aston Martin does not have a great car this season.
Yeah,
Lance Stroll,
26.
right? Lance Stroll himself, cursed at the Aston Martin car despite getting a P7, a very commendable P7
Yeah.
at Silverstone. He was P4, he was even P3 during the race at one given point.
But about him also at Silverstone, for Lance Stroll in particular, I wouldn't say it was a great race for him. I would say it was a good drive.
Right, it was a good drive.
For certain drivers also, we all know, those who have seen Silverstone, the weather conditions already changed everything. Those who were in the wets and intermediates, it supported them as the race went along. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say if it was luck and all, or if it was predicted or whatever, if the strategies were meant to be in that way. But certain drivers, they held their pace, they held those positions. That's why we could see Lance Stroll in the top in a particular point. Nico Hülkenberg finishing P3, Max spinning out,
and then recovering
also
to a good point. Pierre Gasly scoring points for Alpine.
Yeah, so in my perspective, I would say Silverstone was one particular race where we can't give much of our opinions because everything was happening there. You
Right.
would blame the weather, you would blame a driver for not performing well. It was just everywhere.
So, what? I think it's time we start comparing this season to the last season.
Okay.
Obviously, last season we had a lot of chaos and we had a lot of
Controversies.
we had a new winner. We had two new winners. We had, winners winning at least twice. There were 7 drivers who won at least twice. So, the top grid, at least,
Okay.
was very close.
Yeah, it was.
And, this year, McLaren, while they are running away with P1 in the constructors and P1 and P2 in the drivers championship, the midfield is a lot more closer now. Mercedes, Red Bull, even now to an extent, we can say Ferrari is back. they're fighting for the midfield.
Yeah.
So do
I
you
would
think?
say even
Do you
Mercedes
think?
also.
Right, I mentioned
Yeah,
did
sorry,
mention
sorry,
Mercedes.
my bad.
So do you think this season is a lot more entertaining than last one? Because last one it was unpredictable. We did not know what's going to happen. But this season, we think we may know what happened, but it's absolute chaos. So what do you think? Which season has been better as far?
So, if I talk about the ultimate chaos and all, I would put my hands back to the older seasons. I mean, the time about Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen competing at Abu Dhabi.
Right.
But yeah, this season we can see McLaren is at the top. They're holding their leader base and their positions and all. It's more about the mid-table fight. So
Right.
who's going to get, the second place at constructors? Who's going to get third? Because yeah, like you correctly said, Ferrari and Mercedes did have a slow start at the start of the season, but then they are coping up. Red Bull, you never know. They are full of surprises.
As is Max Verstappen.
Yeah, he would.
Despite the fact that he may move to another team, he's still a part of Red Bull till this season.
Yeah, so far 2 podiums he won,
Right.
and I mean half the season is still left. You never know. He would just randomly show up that after this entire break after Belgium, suddenly you're seeing Max Verstappen win all the Grand Prix and take the.
Who knows? Again, we can only speculate.
can
We can only
speculate.
think. So now, going on to more speculation, more thinking. The next season, we're seeing a lot of changes.
Yeah.
We're seeing a new car. We're seeing a new team, Cadillac.
Cadillac.
So, there are a lot of drivers that Cadillac has made contact with. All of them have been very, very open about it.
Yeah.
So, Valtteri Bottas, Mick Schumacher, Sergio Perez,
Checo.
even IndyCar driver, I forgot his name, the Mexican IndyCar driver. I can't remember his name, but he's a good
Editor,
driver.
please help us.
Please help us. Please definitely do help us. And a lot of other speculation as well. So who do you think is going to drive for that Cadillac team next season?
I mean, since it's a new team for an entry season, I would say they need two experienced drivers. So, like everyone's saying, I would put my votes on Checo and Bottas. For someone who would understand what's happening and who would also mentor the team. And I wouldn't say that, Cadillac should come in the first season and become the underdogs. Like a new season, new team, and then they're suddenly winning everything. Nah.
They can take 2 seasons and then
they should take their time.
they can create a plan C for combat. They can change their sides and they can win the last race of the season.
Yeah, just like Aston Martin is doing. So they're not
just like
focusing on-
Apex GP did.
Yeah, just like Apex GP, like a trial and error type of a season.
Combat, chaos.
Combat, chaos. But yeah, I would say Sergio Perez, if people don't know what Checo is, and Valtteri Bottas.
Valtteri Bottas. So, great predictions. We still have the rest of the season remaining.
Yeah. But also talking about these drivers, a very sad incident. Daniel Ricciardo.
Daniel Ricciardo, he has said multiple times that he's not coming back. He's completely retired.
The interview where he answered a kid.
Right. That was heartbreaking. Honestly,
That was.
Despite the fact that, yes, Daniel Ricciardo was not fit to drive. It's sad not seeing him on the grid, as a mentor to someone else maybe. But, we have seen this before. Mark Webber, who used to drive for Red Bull, obviously has won multiple races with Red Bull. He was not around the paddock as much. Then he came back into commentary. Okay. And then he is now the agent of Oscar Piastri. Yeah. He's mentoring him as well. Now, okay, let's shift our focus not to the McLaren, but to the McLaren drivers.
Okay.
Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. Who do you think is, winning the rest of the season?
I mean, see, between especially Lando and Oscar, we see that they are very competitive when it comes to a particular race. Even seeing them in qualies, they are all out. They are pushing the car to its limits. They are trying their best to get a very fast time. I mean, comparatively to other drivers, they seemingly have a great time. But also when it comes to a certain race or certain moments in a race, they start competing amongst themselves. That is when they make those errors.
Like Canada,
especially Canada.
Right.
And because of that, they get into that certain pressure for winning, for being the more suitable driver or the more contributed driver towards the constructors for McLaren to, be Zach Brown's favorite.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they are pretty good this season. Only thing, they should have more team spirit rather than fighting for that one particular trophy.
Trophy. That's a good statement. We have seen some things like this before. Teammates fighting for a championship. Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a similar situation wherein one who is the Brit, he has the potential, he can definitely win a lot of championships, whereas the other one is, coming for his throne. Lando Norris has been with McLaren for now, has been 6 years.
6 years.
They have supported him from his, from the beginning, from when he was in go-karts as well. And in all honesty, McLaren did poach Oscar Piastri. So do you think Lando Norris feels a threat from Oscar Piastri, or is it the other way around? Maybe Oscar Piastri feels, Lando Norris is coming back at me. Where is he getting this confidence from?
I mean, definitely it is a threat for Lando, because if anyone actually sees the race, if Oscar is in P1, he would increase the gap between all the drivers in every corner, every stretch. And there is a struggle for Lando. He struggles in those top, I would say, P3, 2 and 4.
He struggles in the midfield quite a lot.
Yeah. And it's in that moments, it's much easier for Oscar to get out of it.
So Oscar Piastri is much better in pressured situations, you may feel, but when both drivers are very comfortable in their own skin, I believe, or I think what you are also trying to say is Lando Norris may just, finish slightly ahead of Oscar Piastri.
Probably,
in case both of the drivers are in their own, are
definitely
holding their own. Lando Norris did win the Silverstone Grand Prix because of the 10-second penalty. Oscar Piastri was given. Do you think that was a fair penalty? And do you think, George Russell should have been given a similar penalty? Although there have been a lot of differences, a lot of technicalities as well. Both of them did look a lot more similar. So what do you think?
I mean, in my opinion, the penalty was fair, but it should have been given to George also.
Right.
In the same way, because I mean, see, obviously it's about how the team principal poaches for a mistake that happens by some other driver or by their own driver. They have a way to defend. We've seen Christian Horner do that much before also with Lewis Hamilton. But then in this case, it should have been much fair. It should have been equal.
Maybe a 5-second penalty would have sufficed.
Not even a 5, even a lesser penalty would have been better. But then leaving him openly, that was kind of unfair.
Right, it did cost him the race when he was leading. He was behind Lando Norris by 5 seconds. Had the penalty not been given, Oscar Piastri would have been leading by 5 seconds. So that cushion may not have been given, and maybe McLaren were like, "Okay, Oscar, it is his home race. Maybe stop pushing and maybe stop, trying to ensure. Maybe just stop trying to pressure him into a mistake, so that we can get all of the points and maybe you can get him back next race." So do you think McLaren is not trying to favor someone, or is there extremely impartiality between the team and the drivers?
I mean, see, I don't know till what extent is this true, but I pretty much remember Zach Brown saying that he does favor Oscar more compared to Lando. I mean, I've not seen any official statement from Zach Brown saying that both of them are equal for McLaren or both of them have equal contributions. I've never seen him that.
He has said that both of them are number one. We have 2 number 1 drivers.
Yeah,
we've got 2 great drivers.
But he has never said that I believe both of them are equal.
Exactly, and he's pretty much favored Oscar in most of the races, in every post race interview and all. But it might be my perspective. It might be the way media is representing it.
Right.
There might be a complete different narrative towards that. But yeah, it can be, because see, obviously every team principal has their favorite.
Speaking of team principals, Christian Horner was sacked. Laurent Mekies has been promoted from the Racing Bulls team to the Red Bull team.
Yeah.
So do you think that's a positive change, or maybe they should have gone on for someone who is external and bring him back maybe?
You know what? You save that question till Belgium. After Belgium, I'll answer that.
All right. Sure.
It's too early to answer that.
Right.
Because I mean, in this break, this incident has happened. Silverstone was Christian Horner's last race as a team principal for Red Bull. So probably let's wait till Belgium. Let's see what happens.
I think we'll all see what happens. The people behind the crew are telling us to shut up and leave right now because it's taking a lot of time.
No, probably if you talk about Apex GP, they wouldn't.
They wouldn't. If you were describing the F1 movie right now, they'd just sit there.
Especially Ayushmann.
Especially Ayushmann, who you can see in a lot of videos of ours. on Instagram as well, on YouTube Shorts. Hopefully,
Don't worry, we are not going to put his Instagram ID. So, no.
we will.
We won't.
Well, anyways, I think that's all from us. Consider this an outro, and for more videos like this, keep watching Game Time Matters.